believe it or not, the template for that curvature there is that. And so that's in paper. Loads of paper it took to get that right. And this is the brickwork, and this is the bit that's going to go in. Unfortunately, another classic error. When I cut it out, I thought that's lovely, but of course it's upside down. So when it goes in, I've got the bricks on the outside. The bricks are on the outside, not on the inside, so I've got to redo that now. I'll just give you an update since last night. If you can hear the fan in the background, it's just keeping me cool. So what we did last night, we ended up putting this parapet on the right hand side, and we also put that one on that side, I mean. And just to give you a picture, well, there's me. This is using the mirror just to have a good look inside where we've done the tunnel entrance. In my excitement last night of getting the shape of the first bit of the tunnel, I glued it on, glued everything in, and then realized I hadn't ballasted it. So I then had to ballast as easy as I could inside there and continuing around. Now, one thing that has happened that it was a little bit of a shock. Got to hold this steady if I can. When the carriage goes along, it just touches there. So I'm going to stick something on with super glue, and then when that's completely set, I'll pull it out like that. I'll put a nail or something coming up here so I can put a bit of wire around it and pull it out, because nothing of this is going to be seen, and it only has to clear by about 2mm, and then we're laughing, we're fine. So next chore is I've got the ballast gravel down. Bent spoon. This is quite good for putting things on in awkward places, because my spreader wouldn't go in there. So putting this down was really quite good. And then I use just a normal brush to go along and see what I can do. I also use, give me 1 second, I've got to stretch for this, I'm coming back. This is part of a hair curler type thing that my wife was throwing out. It's bigger than that, I cut it in half. And that, believe it or not, fits in there. Let me show you here. This fits in here absolutely perfectly, and can go along and just moves the gravel where you need it to go. So that's that device. And then I also, when you're doing the ballasting, if you just tap it, what that does, it sort of shocks the gravel, and the gravel goes down deeper into the join between the sleepers, and moves it all off of the side. And then if you just use, by the way, this is a piece of hardboard that I use for track cleaning as well, but this also goes around there, and as you go around there, that just keeps everything away from that top side of the sleeper. Same on the other side, and you can do it on the inside if you wish to as well. And that's kept everything away from the rails. Now, what I have done prior to this little video, I've run 2 engines around there. I've run my spinning round. I run my black 5 through it, and I've also, deep in there is my LMS diesel electric 10,000. So the diesel electric 10,000 is a big chunky one, got lots of strength to it. The Black 5, not the same amount of strength. If anything was going to happen, the Black 5 will have faulted, but it didn't, so we're okay. I thought I was going to be a bit clever with the ballasting, so I thought I'll mix up, after I sprayed it with clean water, I'll mix up the mixture, a third of the white stuff, PVA, 2/3 water. I'll put some black paint in it, and I've done this bit here, but of course it's all gone grey. So at least it's in the middle of the tunnel, and if I have to, I can paint it afterwards. I'm now going to go to the other end and do it properly. So ballasting, how I did it. If you look at my previous videos, you'll see I've done it wrong twice, but learnt my lesson. So basically, just make sure you've got your ballast where you'd like it, and just get things laying flatter if you want it that way. Okay, and then you can get on with the process of spraying. So we've got just water, that's the water done, and now in this X shampoo bottle I've got a mixture of 2/3 of water and 1/3 of PVA, plus a dollop of a small touch of washing up liquid. So I'm only going to do it to about here, because the rest of the track is going to be done when I put the top on. This frightens me, because I've seen people do this, masses of it on, and I'm thinking, whoa, whoa, whoa. But it always seems to succeed. So that's the first bit done. I am going to mop this up a bit, because I think that's a bit unnecessary. Unless of course it sucks it back in again. So we've now got the first bit, and that was quite weird, because that putting that stuff on has just raised the level of the gravel slightly, just there. How strange is that? Everything else is looking good. Okay, so that's maintained that rail. This has maintained this rail. When I did it before, I didn't leave it long enough, number one. So I'm going to leave it a lot longer this time, so it sets properly. Mind you, temperature in my little shed at the moment, my thermometer is telling me that it's about 88. So I'm not going to be in here very long, I can assure you that. That's why the fan is on, you can hear in the background. Right, so that's basically that first section done. Off camera, I'm now going to go and do the rest of it. I've had a couple of horrible thoughts though, because in the tunnel section I've already put the cardboard or paper stone walls in there, and I'm thinking, what is this going to do to that? Is it going to swell it, muck it up, etc, etc? So I'm just going to have to live with it. If it does muck it up, I'm going to have to remove the cardboard walls and the paper walls, and just do them again when everything's settled out and dried. I can always add with my trusty spoon I can always add a little bit more of the ballast that will never be stuck down if I do have a problem and I've got to take it out and reseat it, etc, etc. So in about a week's time, well, maybe 4 or 5 days, it's Sunday now, so let's think maybe Thursday, Friday, we'll be able to have a look and see how this has hardened up and how it's actually finished looking.